Everything's so dusty in my studio.
It's
It,
the
um,
well here, let's get it. Hold on. Mammal sauce there with crotch duster there with mammal sauce. We're leaving that, and we don't edit the show here, Neil. Uh, I just let it ride. I make sure all the levels are somewhat good, and then I leave everything in.
He really does,
Nothing goes on the floor.
to my chagrin.
Um, Matt
hey,
Whitson before that, and Bo Burnham. It's so
it's
dusty
uncut.
because the ground below is so sandy here and there that the dust accumulates faster. It's like a whole thing. Plus, you have cats,
It-
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
they're not in this room, but is that an actual thing? Dust accumulates faster in the Midwest?
From what I understand, in the sandier areas, yeah.
Oh,
Huh.
weird.
Well,
I
that's a
did not
fun.
know that. It also could be that I haven't dusted in months. That's
Don't you
probably
wish they had a Roomba for that, like a robot that just could dust your shit?
yeah. It would be the Roomba would have its work cut out for them because there's just so many wires and shit.
Yeah.
Like if I wanted to properly dust everything in this room, like I have a mixer and a looper and a keyboard and all these wires, like I would have to unplug everything.
Right.
So,
Or
which
would have
seems like a lot of work.
have to have like a leaf blower on it or something.
Oh yeah. I wonder if I could just like spray duster all over it.
Oh man,
So,
the
Neil,
duster days.
While we got you here, man, you are working with Reagan Youth. That is so awesome. How did that come about? Like, I'm just like really interested.
Yeah, it's a weird story because when I was out in LA, I would do like random shit for the booking agent that was booking Downtown Brown, and one of the gigs was to drive around Reagan Youth for a tour, and so they had a different singer, and then it was Paul the guitar player and Vince the drummer, who isn't the drummer anymore. Charlie, the original drummer from 1981, is the drummer now.
Oh shit.
And then so there's two original members out of four. The other two original members are deceased. But yeah, so I was driving them, and Paul had an allergic reaction in the back of my van. At the time he was the only original member of the band, and this was at the It's Not Dead Fest 2017. He had to get taken away to the hospital, and the agent pointed at me and said, "You know how to play guitar. Get up there." And so I didn't know any of the Reagan Youth songs on guitar. And next thing I know, I'm like up on stage, and we're one of the first bands on the It's Not Dead Fest, but we were like going on right before Guttermouth. And then the headliners were Rancid and Dropkick Murphys.
Holy shit.
So, yeah, so it was a big deal. And
Yeah.
so I'm up on stage and I don't know the songs, and I'm just like pretty much like pretending. And then Paul didn't die, and he got back to the festival, and they were like, "You saved the day," and then we kind of became friends after that. And then so that was 2017, and then I want to say like a year and a half later, I'm sitting on the toilet. It's 2019, and I'm living in Orange County, and I get a message from the bass player Tibby of Reagan Youth, and she's like, "Would you be down to sing for us?" And I'm just like, "Yeah." And so that's it.
That's
So
It's pretty
awesome.
solid.
So yeah, and I'm pretty sure that came through because the agent that books Downtown Brown and books Reagan Youth and books we're the same agency as Mustard Plug, same agency as Voodoo Glow Skulls, TSOL, like a lot of these like older punk bands, like bands that were big in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Is what covert booking does. I'm pretty sure the agent shit in Reagan Youth's ear about how, hey, Neil can sing or whatever. So
I mean, you definitely watching some of those videos and comparing it to Downtown Brown, like your range is incredible.
oh, thanks. Yeah, well, it's a totally different beast. Like Downtown Brown, I have a guitar, and it like our stage volume is lower, and I'm more acrobatic with my vocals. Like I'm doing all types of different voice. I'm doing like low vocals. I'm doing screaming. I'm doing singing. I'm doing scatting. Like all this like different shit. But in Reagan Youth, I'm just
Raging.
yeah, it's just different. I'm singing like it puts more strain on my voice, and I'm singing like Dave, the original singer. He recorded all those songs when he was 17, and then the second album he was recorded when he was in his early 20s. So we're talking about someone that did all of the recordings for the band when they they didn't have like a fully developed, mature voice. So a lot of it's really kind of high pitched,
Right.
kind of snotty. And so when I'm singing for Reagan Youth, I'm like in a higher register and I'm like yelling a lot. And
He had those pink lungs.
yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure he smoked a lot of weed, but he was a young guy.
Right.
So so I'm definitely trying to bring like a young guy energy to this band, even though I'm 40.
Putting the youth into Reagan Youth.
But I mean, like, compared to how old they are, though, you're still like the young guy, right?
I'm the youngest. Yeah, I'm 40. Tibby's just turned 48 or 47, 48. She's around there. And then the two original guys, Paul and Charlie, are 56 or 57.
It's
Man,
like
so
me with
you
my
are the
hockey
youth
team.
of
All the
Reagan
guys.
Youth.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild because like I feel pretty beat up, just from touring for all these years. But yeah, I'm the young guy in the band. but it's been real cool because I mean, fuck, we just did a tour out west. So right when you guys saw Downtown Brown, 2 days after those shows, I was on a plane going out west to do the Reagan Youth Tour, and the first gig was sold out. We sold out like 3 or 4 shows. It was like really smooth and really fun. It was fucking dope.
That's awesome. So the album that came out like 2 years ago, which one is that? The
Which band?
for Reagan Youth.
Oh, I mean, they put out a single recently, but there's been like the newest music has been like one song, and they didn't do an album.
That degenerated.
Oh, that's just like a bunch of old recordings. Like,
Okay.
So the weird thing about Reagan Youth is they have, because they have so little recorded material, a lot of these labels will put out like demos of the same songs that were put out in the 80s.
Okay.
So it's weird. Like if you go on Spotify, there's like all of these different vinyls, but they're all like different versions of the same songs. So essentially,
that's what I was
Disney
looking
Ball
at, was
releases
just,
Reagan Youth.
well, essentially Reagan Youth has 2 albums, and the album that we're going to start working on, that Paul wants to start working on, is going to be the 3rd and final album. So the whole, the entire, he just wants to just do one record and be, and have that be like it.
I mean, it's kind of cool to have written songs that long ago. It's almost like they're a cover band for their own original music.
I mean, it's tough to, like that's actually a point of contention with Paul, because it's like Paul wrote all those guitar riffs. So
they're all his for sure.
Right.
It's like, how long did they take off until they started playing them again? Or they always just been running? Yeah. Years,
because if you go to the Wikipedia, like the story of the lead singer, David Surgeon, is really tragic. And I don't just whoever's listening to this, go to the Reagan Youth Wikipedia and read about David Surgeon, and you're just going to be like, holy fuck. That's like, it'll make you want to cry. It's terribly tragic. So Paul didn't pick the band up for, I want to say, 15 years.
Okay.
So from when Dave died in the early 90s all the way to 2006. And I think the way the band got picked back up again was someone just said, oh, I booked Reagan Youth on this show. And they just told Paul. And Paul's like, okay, I guess I'm going to get the band back together. I think that's like literally how it happened.
It was like the kid needed.
I think that's how they got the Misfits back at Riot Fest.
Who knows? Who knows the story about that? But all I know is once Paul did one show, it kind of like reignited something in him, and he realized that people want to hear these songs, and that what's crazy is how many young kids really dig Reagan Youth, like a band that was fucking started in the 80s.
Well, it's like VO2, right? By us, for us.
Yeah, it's wild.
Well, I mean, even the name, right? Reagan Youth is like it was contemporary when it was named.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is when it was named, everyone in the band was a child. They were all 17.
Yeah.
Right.
And the whole name is likening the followers of Reagan and the Reagan administration to Hitler in World War II times.
Apt comparison.
I mean, Reagan, yeah, is that guy. But it's
And a
wild,
mediocre actor.
Yeah. The best is in what was it? Back to the Future, when he's like, yeah, Ronald Reagan, and they're the actor.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's a trip. Like I just,
Were you a fan of like Reagan Youth prior to that? Like a bit, like listen to them a bunch, or was it just kind of like?
In all honesty, like growing up, I was like into a lot of the old school punk bands, like Germs, Black Flag, Misfits, Minutemen, like all the SST stuff. But like Reagan Youth was not on my radar, which is so it's wild. Like until I started driving them around, I wasn't really privy to their music. So I was a late bloomer for them. And it's what's crazy too is I didn't get into Bad Brains until I was in my fucking 20s. So it's weird to be like obsessed with punk rock in my teenage years, but like missing out some key bands.
Like there was I feel at Reggie's watching Downtown Brown, knowing that you guys have been a band for a very, very long time. Like, wow.
But we were
too fucking long.
But we were never like the purveyors or at the start of any sort of movement. We're a very obscure band compared to like Bad Brains or Reagan Youth. Like those are like I would say those are essential bands.
I'm not obviously I know everything historically about Bad Brains, but I haven't really dove into a lot of their music.
Bad Brains to me is essential hardcore, and then the reggae element. And they were the best musicians. They were the best, and in my eyes, it's because and Downtown Brown has toured with HR from Bad Brains. We were his backing band for the whole year of 2019.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome.
So there's videos up on my YouTube of us backing HR and having him do like a whole reggae set with Downtown Brown as the backing band. That's another crazy gig that I got through.
It's pretty cool. I mean, playing with the fucking sax guy from Lost Boys. Talk about crazy gigs.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I've been doing this shit long enough to where I may not be making a shitload of money from music, but I get to do all this amazing shit. And so I'm especially now since the pandemic is effectively over, it seems. I mean, it's still going on, but like shows are back and whatnot.
Right.
I'm just trying to be in a state of gratitude for having cultivated a life where I can do fun stuff and make a couple of dollars. Like I'm really lucky. And even talking to the sax guy from Lost Boys, I was like, dude, he was complimentary of Downtown Brown, but then he was just talking about how lucky he was to be in his 60s and having people want to like
60s. He's in fantastic shape.
Yeah, he's still buff and greased up and but on top of it, he just was so grateful. It was really inspiring to me because the entertainment industry can pulverize you, and it can be very unforgiving. And here's a guy that has been in the public eye since I was a child, and he is just like stoked on it. He was like, he played a show in front of like 60, 70 people. It wasn't like a huge crowd, but everyone wanted to buy a photo and everyone wanted a photo op so he
should
made money.
Baby oil.
I mean, the dude was selling, you ever been to Comic-Con or a Comic-Con?
Yeah, similar things.
Yeah, if you've ever been to any sort of like
trade show,
comic type convention where they have guests and the guests like just sign a headshot.
Yeah.
That's essentially his whole merch setup was just these little printed out prints of him with Tina Turner, him with the Lost Boys, and he
Damn,
was
dude,
selling
him
them
with
for like
Tina Turner. That's some good. That's basically pornography. You can take that home,
he,
put that up in the bathroom, and you're good to go.
dude, he toured with Tina Turner for 15 years. And if you go online and type in Tim Capello, Tina Turner, like he was part of her backing band and they would do songs together and she
Dance
would like
provocatively, very provocatively.
We were
no.
on your Twitch stream the other
Yeah,
day.
we watched the stream.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah,
So you,
yeah.
so you know.
Oh
Plus, I'm a
yeah,
big Tina
Yeah.
Turner fan already. I watch a lot of live Tina Turner.
Yeah,
shit.
and
that is no cap.
and so when I was on stream and watching that shit, I was like literally like, oh my, this is like very sexual. Like she had her hands all over him, and but ultimately he like is making a good living just being this notable guy from movies, from like 80s movies. Like just imagine doing one thing in the 80s and being able to capitalize off of that and see the world for the rest of your life.
Oh my
Like
It'd
god.
be pretty rad.
like that's the dream. And he knows it. When he was on stage, he was just like, he's like, I know you're all here for one thing, but
just whips his
he
dick
told
out.
yeah, no. but he told the audience, he's like, he's like, I believe in a little foreplay first, and then so he did like, he like just built it up. He built up the set, and then he delivered the thing that everybody wanted, and then he ended the show doing the fucking Pee-wee dance and doing tequila.
Fuck yeah.
But
Fuck yeah.
he did it on this. He switched instruments. He switched from an actual acoustic saxophone to this like weird electronic sax
Ooh,
thing.
I've seen those things. Yeah.
So it went from being like this triumphant thing to this just hilarious novelty thing, and he just, it was a really lovely experience. He was so stoked to be there. It was very inspiring because I've been doing music for 20 years and sometimes I'm just like, well, this is bullshit and yada yada, but just how grateful he was to be there and how stoked he was. I'm like, if this guy's in his 60s and he's like this stoked to be doing what he's doing, then that's like super fucking inspiring to me.
Right,
No,
right.
it's totally inspiring.
Because I get in a shitty mood. I'm tired. I've been driving all day, yada yada. But it's like, man, if this dude is in his 60s and he can be in a good mood like that, then that's what I should aspire to be doing as well. So that's my goal, is to become like a bastard son or nephew of the sexy sax man somehow, like at least in spirit,
Of course. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I would say honestly, listening to like some of the
I'd like to see
songs
full
Downtown
tour
Brown
where he plays
has.
with Downtown Brown. If I'm being
Oh
completely
man,
honest.
yeah. Get
We
him
try-
to play sax.
We tried to make it happen. I emailed him about it, but he like respectfully declined. So. I definitely tried to shoot that shot because I got on an email thread, but then I'm like, I gotta ask Sexy Sax Man. I'm like, can we back you?
Dude.
But then he has everything is set up to where there's a backing track, and he's got like video screens that play the clips from the movies and whatnot. So
Okay.
Yeah,
it's just something we couldn't insert ourselves into, but that would be amazing to have Tim Capello be in Downtown Brown. I would shit myself, dude.
Right.
that'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, yeah, because he's a great player on top of being like,
Yeah, he
This-
jams.
yeah, he's great.
I mean, you don't
So-
fuck with Tina Turner that long and not jam.
Well, yeah,
Exactly.
and even for Tina Turner, he was playing keys and stuff too. He wasn't just doing saxophone.
Yeah, and then auxiliary percussion. He was doing it all. So
Oh wow.
On the
yeah, what a G. Like
sexy sax man on the marimbas.
yeah, and just like a really nice, genuine dude. It was great.
He seemed rad. Like, I've seen photos I think that you posted and Mike had posted, and he seemed like a really cool guy. Like you could just tell he's a pretty cool dude.
Yeah, he was super approachable and stoked to be there and
We-
grateful.
We were deep diving you on our Twitch stream when we found out you were coming on because, like I said, we just found out about you. That show was like what, a month ago.
Yeah, yeah.
And we found out about that show. I think we were watching your TikTok, and we were like, "There's no way! Like, this is a hilarious TikTok bit. There's no way this is real."
Yeah, right. We were
And
like,
then you
this is
mentioned
he's
it on your
memeing,
Twitch
right?
stream, and I'm like, "Oh fuck, it's real! I do not have the time to get the gas money to get there. God damn it!"
Well, this is the thing is like, that's how ridiculous my life is. Like I I have a TikTok about how we covered a Yo Gabba Gabba song with Insane Clown Posse. And the
I
thing
haven't
is,
seen that yet, but I
the
will
thing
be there
is,
tonight.
is in 2012 we actually covered a Yo Gabba Gabba song with ICP. That's my life. Like that's the type of shit I
What?
get to
Those
do.
guys are
Yeah.
cool, right?
Yeah.
I would think so. I've always said
Dude.
I'd like to hang out with those guys.
I wish they'd yeah, I'm trying to do more stuff with them, but they're very hard to get a hold of. There was a point where
You need to get on a gathering because we've been talking about how we want to go to a gathering.
we've done it twice.
What? See, we got
What?
it. You
Yeah.
get Skatopia too, which is fucking cool.
Yeah, but this was all like almost 10 years ago. We did Skatopia in 2010, and then we did a gathering in 2011, and we did a gathering in 2012. But I want to do a gathering. I wanted to do last year's gathering, but it's I don't know where we stand with the Wicked Clowns, but I will always love them no matter what. Like even if they don't want to involve Downtown Brown in anything anymore ever, I grew up in Metro Detroit in the 90s, and so ICP was a thing before
Right.
before Juggalo was a thing. I was listening to ICP in 1994 when they were just a local group, and so to me, I'll always love ICP. But yeah, we did do a song with them, and then they did invite us to be the house band on their talk show that they were doing on Patreon.
Okay.
Oh,
And so we did one of those, and I'm still waiting to be asked to do it again, but I must have done something to piss them off.
no.
Yeah, because I think I might have posted content that they wanted to remain on their Patreon on YouTube. But like
how do
really,
you rub those guys the wrong way.
really, this is the thing is I only posted the clips where Downtown Brown was playing Downtown Brown music, but it was on their live stream.
Okay.
And so I put together this little highlight reel, which was about 7 minutes out of a 2.5 hour show, which just pretty much had them talking to us and downtown and them shouting out Downtown Brown. And I put it on my YouTube, but it got blocked and taken down by whatever company looks for their content. I'm pretty sure they might be miffed at me for that. But also like I just uploaded the shit that had to do with Downtown Brown, but I wanted people to see it, and their Patreon wall is $69.99 a month.
Jesus.
Good on them.
But Juggalos pay for it because
Yeah.
they every month when they do a month of streaming, they're putting out like so much content.
Right.
That it's, to me, if you're a Juggalo, it's worth the $69.99. But all I wanted to do was show people that we were on it. You know? So I put up. So, but then again, their management hasn't told me why they won't hit us up again. So, like, I don't know. I might have been a little too fanboyish and being like, "Can we get on the gathering? Can we get on the gathering?" They might just think I'm annoying. Who knows? But either way, we did 2 gatherings. We did 1 song with ICP, and all that exists.
That's great.
But I want to do more stuff with them, and they won't fucking hit me back up, and I'm kind of sad about it. But also, what can you do? They're the Insane Clown Posse. They do what they want, and
Seems kind of petty if you ask me, but
I mean, you don't want to get you don't want to get in too deep with them. They are legally a gang.
Yeah, not really.
right.
I don't know where they stand with the FBI, but ultimately, I just wish they would hit me up and be like, "We want Downtown Brown to do all types of shit." Because I would say yes. I would say, you know how I told you I say yes to everything. If it's anything Juggalo related, I will say yes. I will say yes to it immediately. And I remember I had previous bandmates that would be like, "Oh, I don't know if we should do stuff with Psychopathic Records," and I'm like, "We're doing all of it."
Yeah, no, their fan base is so huge and so loyal.
Oh, they don't like Downtown Brown, by the way. The Juggalos don't.
That makes sense, I guess.
We've opened up for ICP on multiple occasions. There's actually a whole video I made of us opening for them in Toledo, and it did not go well. It started off going well. Like the Juggalos were like, yeah, they were digging Downtown Brown, but you know how we shift a lot of gears.
Yeah,
Right.
which I love.
Yeah. We kind of slowed down for a little bit, and the Juggalos got really restless, and then
Oh no.
and then
Yeah,
and then
they're all
they
hopped up on caffeine and Fago.
well, at one point, like we were the only thing between them and ICP was Downtown Brown. So you
Oh,
can
yeah.
only
My God.
Yeah.
you could only imagine being the only thing between a Kiss fan and Kiss, or the
And you're
only
in
thing.
Ohio. Like, the people in Ohio, they don't get a lot. So when they get what they want it now.
Yeah, so it like if you find the footage, it's definitely it goes from them being sort of into it to us all chanting along with the crowd, fuck this shit, and then fuck Downtown Brown.
That's
Like,
awesome.
yeah, so we got the fuck this shit chant and we got the fuck Downtown Brown chant going. And when we ended the set, the lights go down and everyone was like really excited, but then they had to wait like an hour before ICP played. Like in the dark. Like, and
We'll definitely be
Yeah.
looking for that on our Twitch
Yeah.
after the show.
yeah, it exists. It says Downtown Brown opens for Insane Clown Posse 2011. Like, but yeah, but I remember even when we were offered that show, the guys in my band are like, "Oh, I don't know, we're gonna tarnish our reputation." But it's like, dude, doing stuff with ICP is always this like amazing, weird experience. And I'll always like, as long as those guys are doing stuff, if they ever ask me to do anything, I'm gonna say yes.
So doing shows with ICP, you were driving a band for driving a van for Reagan Youth and end up in the band.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, yeah, your life is pretty crazy, my guy.
Yeah, we've been the backing band for Dee Snider. We've been the backing band for Chuck Mosley from Faith No More. We did the HR thing from HR from Bad Brains. We were his backing band.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, I think it's like you guys, it's a testament to the range that your whole band sort of has, or, you know, I mean, Downtown Brown in whatever iteration it is there has, to be able to just back up and be around musically and all of these different genres.
Yeah, we can play anything except for like the only thing I don't think we could do too well is like, you know, sweep picking, like genty stuff. Like we can if it's whether it's blues or rock or funk or punk rock or like old school heavy metal.
Well, more importantly,
all-
you guys can blend it really well.
Yeah, we try to just like get real weird with it and do all types of shit, and whatever feels normal we'll do. But I would say the only thing we couldn't like really do is like maybe like a spot on Van Halen cover or some like, you know, Animals as Leaders, like super genty shit. Like that might be a little beyond our capabilities, but as far as the doing, you know, cock rock or punk rock or classic metal or funk or reggae, we can do anything, you know? So yeah, it's nice because that presents us with strange opportunities. Like we can open for Andrew WK, or we could open for Insane Clown Posse, or we could open for the Addicts and open for Angry Samoans, open for Sloppy Seconds, like, and it all makes sense because the energy is there.
And you fit in with all of them and none of them at the same time.
Correct, and so we toured a shitload with Fishbone in the 2010s. We did like lots of shows with Fishbone because Norwood, the bass player of Fishbone, used to manage Downtown Brown, and we did an album with him in 2013.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, I mean, and Fishbone is one of those bands that can do anything, and so
Yeah.
for us to be kind of taken under their wing was interesting because not only was it like a huge honor, but also we got to see like, okay, if you're in a band that does all types of different genres, it might be harder than you think. Because one would think if you play all types of different music, then all types of different people are gonna like you. But the thing is, with a lot of human beings, their taste for content is very what's the word I'm looking for?
Specific?
Yeah, it's almost like structured in a way, like where I mean, you'll notice that there are rockabilly guys.
Right.
There are ska kids and there are hardcore kids. And a lot of times the people, they create these identities around a specific music taste.
Yeah, it gets real clicky.
So, yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of like East LA street punks that only listen to street punk, you
Right.
know. There's a lot of, folk punk kids that don't really delineate too much from their specific subsect of bands that they listen to. So what ends up happening if you're a band that plays all types of different music, it's almost like the opposite thing happens because everyone's so into their niche. The only people you end up attracting if you're in a band that makes no sense are people that
Weirdos
make
like
no
me and
sense.
Keegan,
Yeah, guys like us.
And that's actually, those people are harder to find. Like if we had greaser haircuts and wore leather fucking jackets and played upright bass and did the psychobilly thing, that's almost would be a smarter career path.
Right.
Because there's actually an audience for that. You know what I'm saying? But
we have the similar issue with our show where it's like we like, do we show this to punks? I don't know if punks will really be into this. Like, yeah.
let me just say, the few times I've been called the F slur and not fuckhead, like
Right.
the most derogatory F slur in existence was opening for punk bands out on the West Coast.
Yeah.
And that's like Downtown Brown is just doing their thing, and it's not punk enough for the dad punks, and they'll call you that, they'll say you're a
Yeah.
and
That's my dad.
and yeah, well, and what's funny is that shit you wouldn't think it would happen playing in front of a punk audience. You would think, oh, these people are open-minded.
It makes no sense.
It really doesn't. We've gone off on this on the show a bunch of times.
Him and Matt Wixon love each other, but he's still the same guy that would say that.
It's weird, isn't it? It's weird. But yeah, that's the thing is you think, oh, Southern California punk. I mean, there's such a rich history of eclectic bands that came out of this place. But it's weird. It's like different subsects of punks, especially in Southern California, they're like, I only listen to the classic bands. Like,
well,
I like
Southern California punk scene was like actually gang related when it first happened, so it was already segmented into gangs.
Depending on which band you're talking about. If you're talking about like Suicidal Tendencies, then yeah, there was actual gang affiliation going on with those shows. But then you had like
Agent Orange.
Yeah, I mean that was more like skate punk, surf punk thing.
Those dudes fucking rock.
Oh, I love Agent Orange. That's classic stuff. But it's weird. It's like when I moved out there and started doing shows, I'm like, okay, like these motherfuckers want to support the classic bands, but as far as the underground is concerned, it literally is underground, like under highway underpasses, like the stuff Dead City are doing and the stuff that like Corrupted Youth are doing. Like,
yeah,
during the pandemic, did you see the footage of the shows under the highway underpasses? Like,
yeah,
that's like Tiny World, Dead City. There's a whole DIY scene that's fucking crazy, but the people that support all this classic nostalgia punk wouldn't go to a show like that. They'll only go to see the Addicts at the House of Blues or whatever, but they wouldn't go to a DIY show where it's like totally illegal and there's all types of fireworks and people are like lighting shit on fire and the helicopters are swirling around. That's like a totally different scene out there. And what was kind of a bummer for me is while I was out there, Downtown Brown never got to play any of the DIY stuff. We were always opening up for the dad punk bands. So it's a bummer.
My dad does really like your band. He really does. He's into it.
Well, Dad's like Downtown Brown, but what I wanted to be doing is playing these like underground backyard shit and playing in front of kids. And unfortunately, you know, like if you're playing some bar in Orange County, it's just gonna like the crowd just isn't gonna get what Downtown Brown is.
Right. Kids have
and
shitty taste in music.
no,
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
no, the dads have shitty taste. The
Yeah.
dads are like the dad punks and the older punks are in this like one lane of thinking.
I'm
Right.
even finding
I-
myself as I'm getting older. I'm like, man, none of this. I don't know if the new music is bad or if it's just like I'm getting old.
I mean, it might be like that South Park episode.
That's what I'm
where
thinking.
It's everything is just shitty. The title of that episode is "You're Getting Old,"
Yeah.
Yeah.
but also I don't know. Like there's been a lot of new music. It hasn't necessarily been punk, but there's been a lot of newer music that I really fucking fuck with
Oh yeah.
because
For sure.
because I don't know, but I'm weird. Like I like pop music and I like all types of different shit. So you know, my formative years as a punk were when I was a teenager, and I'm like that was like 25 years ago, you know, because I'm old now. So yeah, it's weird to be in this like punk ecosphere and playing with all these punk bands and doing all this punk stuff and being like as disconnected as I've ever been from the actual music. I'm into all types of shit. And as I was explaining to you and going through my Spotify, there's only one playlist that has punk rock on it. Let's see. Most of it's Reagan Youth. just from
Practice.
you know, so let's see what my punk playlist New York Dolls, Civ, Crass, Ramones, Reagan Youth, Circle Jerks, Fear.
Oh yeah. It's a solid fucking playlist though.
Yeah, a Negative Approach.
Have you heard any of the new Jesse Michaels EP, the new Classics of Love release?
No, but I always liked Jesse
It's
Michaels.
fucking amazing. It's
It is really
hardcore. It's
good.
hardcore as fuck.
How's his voice sound?
It's oh my god, it sounds great. Like it's different than you're probably thinking, but it sounds
What's
great.
What's it called?
I'll shoot you a link.
But we cannot tell you how much we appreciate the eclectic sound of Downtown Brown, and we can't tell you how much we appreciate you coming on the show. It's getting kind of late, so I don't know if this will probably be our sign off with you. Thank you so much, Neil, for coming and hanging out.
Yeah, I wish I didn't know how the show was structured and that we were going to be doing segments.
You're
But if
all
I have to
good.
do it,
You're good.
if I have to do another 2 segments, I'm gonna like I already lost
No,
steam
you're
like
good.
about a half an hour ago because
Oh,
I
you're
did a whole podcast before this. So I'm not trying to be lame, but also like
Oh no,
I
we're an
pre-
hour behind you, and I got to be up
gonna,
early as hell in the morning
yeah.
too. So we're gonna probably power through our last 2. So
Yeah,
Cool,
we super
well,
appreciate it.
super.
send me the link when it goes live, and because I'd be interested in hearing what this sounds like with a fresh pair of ears.
Yeah.
Word.
But also like I'm glad we know some of the same people, and I appreciate you digging my band and
Oh, dude.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, you'll
Yeah.
be seeing us around for sure.
So wait, are y'all in Indiana?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
we're in
like
Northwest
40 minutes
Indiana.
from Chicago.
Yeah.
What city?
I'm in Griffith,
Okay.
so we're like
Yeah, we're
near
like,
Hammond,
about-
kind of.
Yeah, because we like the last 2 times when Reagan Youth played and when Downtown Brown played Chicago, the last 2 times we stayed in Hammond.
Okay.
At a mo-
Yeah, if you guys
at a-
ever need a place to crash.
No, we stayed in Lansing
Okay.
at a Motel 6. It's this crappy Motel 6, but it's like a perfect distance away from the south side of Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lansing's right there. It's like right in between us and the south side.
Yeah, we were dancing in banana suits in the hotel room. So.
Okay.
But yeah, that Reggie show was dope. And then the last time Reagan Youth we did an East Coast tour before I got COVID. And and the last show was in Chicago at Beat Kitchen. So
Okay.
yeah, I don't know when Reagan Youth probably isn't coming back to the East Coast like before we do new music. We're probably not touring at all before we do music, and I don't know what the fuck Downtown Brown is doing 2022. So
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're even close to us, we will be at a show. Shit, if you're even in Michigan, we'll
yeah,
probably make
honestly, it was like I so considered the Sax Man show. Like
dude,
it was
yeah.
legitimate consideration.
yeah, I think before the end of the year we do our annual Christmas show in Detroit, and it's at a tiny little bar called the Lager House. But
Okay.
it always gets packed. It's fun. I know Mike Land will be there. He's playing with Carmel that night. So
Oh hell yeah!
Okay.
Do you have anything you want to plug before you take off?
yeah, follow me on my socials. It's at Neil P. That's NEILP twice. Neil P. And I'm on TikTok, and I'm on Instagram, and I'm on Twitch at Neil P, and I'm on Patreon at Neil P, and I'm on YouTube at Neil P. And I'm gonna be I just recorded a podcast, so I do podcasts, I stream, I make dumb videos on TikTok, and I'm in 2 bands. And what else do I do? I'm a cat dad. I have a nice girlfriend. We have a house. Everything isn't terrible right now.
Yeah,
So,
guys, check him out.
Hell yeah.
so knock on wood. Is there something wood around here? I don't think this is real wood.
check him out, guys.
Furniture is
You
real
will not
wood
be
anymore.
disappointed.
Yeah, so I'm not dead, and I'm alive, and I can do stuff, and that's pretty cool. Because I just talked to my buddy just got in this car accident, and I was thinking about how in 2010 Downtown Brown rolled their van on the highway, and I said our van. It was my van. I rolled my van on the highway. So I'm just trying to stay in that mindset where I'm just like, hey, I'm not dead. This could be a lot worse. I get to do cool shit, and I get to survive. So far so good.
And
Right?
we're really happy about it as well.
Yeah, because you get to make more music and stuff. It's
Hell yeah.
it's a selfish happiness, but we're happy.
Well, if I can bring any light to anyone's life doing my stupid shit, then that's fucking amazing. So
Oh hell yeah, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
we're
I just-
doing that for sure.
So CJ, what do we got coming up?
well, thanks, y'all.
Yeah.
What's
Uh,
coming up?
We got butthole songs coming up.
Yeah, just more buttholes.
I wish I
fine.
could stick around, but
I mean, this is very much an open forum, so
Yeah, anytime you're always welcome back. The door is always open.
yeah.
thanks, dudes.
Uh,
And I hope to see you in the future here.
Oh hell yeah.
definitely. Like I said, if you ever need a spot to stay with one of the bands when you're in the Chicago area, hit me up. We've always
Thank
got
you.
couches and stuff.
That's beautiful. Yeah, hotels are expensive.
They
Even
are,
in
dude.
fucking
No.
even in fucking Vegas, when we were out there with Reagan Youth, it was like over $100. I'm like, in Vegas, I thought this is the place where you can get like a $30 hotel room.
Right?
Yeah,
Everything was over 100 every
By the hour.
yeah, by the hour.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
We
what
got
can you do?
Beefcake coming up next with Proctologist, Johnny Cakes, and the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypso with Eternally Missing You. You're listening to the Moron Bros Show here at RealPunkRadio.com.
Let's check it out.